What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake. We are taking down the fence today. Today is the start, or at least we're going to start. Today is Sunday. It is October 26th. Just a couple days ago, I posted the first video in this pole barn building series. So now the cat is out of the bag. If you're new to the channel and you're just tuning in, go back. It's in a playlist. Building a pole barn or something, I think I titled it, is the name of the playlist. And there's two videos in there: building the road to nowhere and then clearing the trees to build a pole barn. So go catch up if you haven't already seen those two. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. But yeah, today is the day we're starting to pull down the fence. They are delivering a link belt, a brand new link belt 160 excavator. I think that's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 37,000 pound excavator on Monday or Tuesday. And we're gonna start moving dirt. So this fence needs to come down because essentially the plan is that the pole barn is basically going to be halfway in the yard and partly back here. The whole covered porch, I'll put a picture of, or a rendering of what it's going to look like up now, but the whole covered porch is going to be included in the backyard, and the working end, the garage doors, all that stuff, is going to be separated by the fence. So we're planning to butt the fence back up to each side of the building. That way we can access the barn through the French doors and the covered porch. And I can also access it from, out here, and we can still have dog containment at some point. So we got to get these shelter logics out of the way. I pulled the first couple, like 2 or 3 fence posts and half the gate this morning with Sarah and Hayes' help. Sarah conveniently has had a spa day planned with her 2 best friends for months now. It just happens to land on today. So I am doing daddy daycare all day today, kind of pulling double duty, but we got to get as much done as we can. So I got to stop talking and we got to get this shelter logic moved. Now you see, I have it on these big telephone poles to kind of anchor it to the ground. And I went ahead and sunk some lag eye bolts in there, and I'm going to put these chain hooks on there because the hook itself won't actually fit, and I don't feel like taking the time to go to the hardware store for bigger eye bolts. So hopefully we can just chain it and drag this thing out. Now I am a little worried that the chain might kind of pull the legs together, but at the end of the day, if this thing breaks, I don't really care. I would like to get it down to the woodyard area to store my firewood. Here we go. All right, it's kind of working and it's keeping its shape. So again, I wish I had a spreader bar or something, but I just don't. So we're gonna try to use the forks and just get it down. Got the shelter logic down here, and this is where I plan on putting it. Now, like I said, I plan to store firewood, my personal totes of firewood, in this shelter logic, just because with everything that's going to be going on with this project this winter, it's going to be a mess. And between the mess and the construction and the dogs and my full-time job and everything else going on in my life, It would just be nice to know that our primary, quote unquote heating, source, aka firewood, is going to be nice and dry, out of the weather regardless, so I could just take totes out of this Shelter Logic and bring them right into my basement. So that's the plan with that. I moved all the attachments and stuff out of here. There really wasn't that much in here. Those 2 DeWalt splitters that I did a review on way back when, I'm actually trying to sell them. I have a guy coming to pick up the 20-ton tomorrow. If you're interested in the 9-ton, let me know. But yeah, I mean, we got to move a lot of dirt. This video is going to focus primarily on, I think I'm going to call it, like grading for a pole barn or something like that, because that's what this video is going to focus on. Everything that's involved in prepping the pad for them to come and build the pole barn in the beginning of December. So, yeah, now I have to figure out how to shoehorn this thing in there. It's a little tough with just one person, but we're making do. All right, well, that went surprisingly well. I know I just filmed it in a time lapse there, but that only took 44 seconds, which that was like 25 minutes or something. Took me to jockey this thing in there, and I cannot believe it, but this thing is like fully fine. Like nothing. The only thing that is broken on it is that I'm missing, and I've been missing ever since I got this thing because I got it secondhand. I'm missing these clamps for right here. As you can see, the 2 poles are there, but I don't have the clamp to clamp it there. But that is the only thing that is broken on this. And this, yeah, I mean, I'm just blown away. So, all right, we're going to start moving some firewood. You guys might be wondering, Jake, why aren't you going to park the tractor in the Shelter Logic? Well, we're building a barn, and I know construction projects can sometimes take a long time, but once this pad is leveled and complete, the barn building itself, they say as long as the weather cooperates, they should have this thing built, sided, roofed, completely sealed in, basically within like a week, 2 weeks max. So, I could throw a tarp over the tractor for a little bit, but I'm not going to be storing, totes of firewood in this building that we're going to be, seemingly working on, running electric, plumbing, like all the, everything to it. So I could throw a tarp over the tractor, and then once the building's up, I could park all the equipment in the barn, even before, the slab is poured and all that good stuff. So that's kind of my plan. But this Shelter Logic will prove to be able to keep all of our firewood nice and dry, even drier than it already is, with the tote tops and everything on it. So it hasn't rained for about 2 weeks, so I'm gonna capitalize on that and grab some totes and throw them in here, and we should be good for the season. Okay, well that worked out great. Honestly, I wasn't able to double stack all of them, but I was able to, triple stack in a triangle. I got 11 totes in here. I kind of messed up These two totes in the second to last row are both large totes, so the extra height prevents me from stacking up a third tote on top, but that's all right. We got 11 totes in there. That should get us well into the winter. All right, that looks great, all sealed up. I'm real happy about that. That will be some nice peace of mind moving forward into this project that is going to drive my OCD absolutely up the wall. This will be a true test for my personality and my OCD, because it is going to be a mess in the peak of winter and mud season. I don't even want to think about it, but let's go back up there. Now that that shelter's out of the way, we got more fence to take down and posts to yank out. So here we go.
Go, Daddy! Go, Daddy!
No turning back. No turning back. All right, guys, it's a family affair out here today. Got Hayes, Sarah, Gus, Lou. We are taking down the fence. That was the first post. Got to get this puppy out of here. Got it all emptied. We got this one emptied. We got our high-vis hats on. We're ready to work, right, bud? Yeah.
Hey, say hi. Yay, Lou. Lou. Yay!
Of course, the rotten pallet that's been out here for 5 years broke as soon as my tire hit the hole from one of the fence posts I pulled out. All right, guys, I think that's going to be all the time I have today. Hayes just woke up from his second nap, and we are headed over to my parents' house for a little dinner and hangout. So made real good progress today. All the chain link down. Just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more posts to pull, at least on this back side. But this is plenty for them to come, you know, potentially tomorrow, if not Tuesday, with that big link belt machine, and that, you know, at least the fence down and they can start scraping around. But I mean, I just got to pull those 5 more posts. That'll take me, you know, maybe an hour, and then I can start working on the sides. But we're in good shape. I made good progress today. Thank you, Hayes, for taking 2 long naps. All right, guys, we are back the next day. I took a half day from work, and I am on my street about to pull into the property. And the excavator should be here by now. It is about 10:30, and they said that they should be here around 8:30 to drop off the machine. So I'm hoping they made it. They were doing some last minute repairs on the bucket yesterday, doing some welding and stuff from the last job it was on. So we're about to see. We're going to round the corner here, and I am so excited. I can't express how excited I am. I feel like today is really the first start of this project. I'm not seeing any. Oh, the excavator is here. They are unloading it, I think, as we speak. All right, guys. Well, here is the machine. This is my buddy's Link Belt 160, his hook lift truck. I've shown that in a video before. Got the operator here who's gonna walk it off the trailer and walk it up the road. This will be by far the biggest thing that we've had go up that road thus far. Well, the road seems to be holding up just fine. All right, first thing on the list here is to get this big mamooker down. So he's gonna dig out around the roots, and we're gonna knock it over. What he just did in about 10 minutes would have taken me all day. All day, without a doubt. It's a pretty amazing machine. All right, it's down. Almost missed that. Timber. All right, guys, we are working here while the link belt is up there. Hank is the owner of the company. He is helping me install the silt fence here. I'm using the PR Attachments root ripper. He's never used a root ripper to install silt fence before, but he says it's going super fast because it just creates a tiny little slit in the earth, big enough for the silt fence to sit down in and loosen up the ground enough to pound in the stakes. So we are down here on the bottom side of the area and working our way up. Well, guys, it is 2:55 and they probably started working around 11. I got home around 10:30 and we've gotten quite a bit done. I currently have a time lapse going on that tripod over there, but as you can see, this is kind of a glimpse at what it's going to be. There's going to be a significant boulder wall up on this right side, which I absolutely love. I think that's so cool. I love all the rock that Connecticut has, and to be able to feature it and like show it off instead of just burying it, I think is going to be awesome. So we will always have a really cool boulder wall, probably pretty big boulder wall up on that side. I mean, that's all of at least 6 foot just from the base there to the top, and then some. And he's just baling material over here, as you can see, kind of extending the grade. I don't think he's really, he hasn't really tied anything, you know, gotten as far as all the way down here, because obviously this is all going to have to be lifted up as well. But that is the direction that it's heading. And we are supposed to get a pretty significant storm tomorrow. The remnants, I believe, of Hurricane Melissa that hit Jamaica pretty hard. So we're kind of splitting the project up into 2 sections. One, the pole barn, you know, pad, and then they're also going to level out basically this entire yard up until this oak tree. They're going to get as close to that oak tree as they can without damaging it, probably about to where the ATV actually is. So we kind of use that clump of oak saplings as a guideline. So basically from there straight down and then across to kind of, if you can see that little skinny birch tree there, because we don't want to affect that big sugar maple either. All of this is going to get leveled and be nice, usable lawn, we're hoping. So we're gonna keep letting him go. I have been working with the tractor up in the front, just doing the leaves. Much less important work, but you know, still got to get done. So keep on keeping on. Say hi to the camera. Look at this, huh? Pretty cool. Look at that. right, guys, Hayes just got done with a little bit of lunch. Now we are out here establishing what rough grade is gonna be. So Hank just took out the laser, and basically right around where this little test hole is, about a foot higher, see where he's holding the grade rod, that's about where rough grade is gonna be. And we have to strip out everything above that. And as you can see, that is feet. Several feet. The plan is to have a big boulder retaining wall up on the high side. As you can see, we have no shortage of rock so far. So, just gonna start bailing dirt out. Hank and I got the silt fence installed and backfilled. So as you can see, it runs all the way around behind this pile of logs and stumps and then pops out back there where the slope kind of changes. So now he's just digging and bailing dirt. And basically all this dirt is going to help connect to my road and build a nice big flat approach to the one overhead door that's gonna be, we're basically standing right in front of where the overhead door will be. It's like where that bucket is right now. Here we go. What do you think about this, Hayes? You like it? Guys, it's about 5:30 in the morning, 2 days after they began the excavation project here for the pole barn. I'm out walking the dogs because we no longer have a fence, but the plan is for them to come back. The storm has passed. They should be back today to continue working on this. So when I get home from work, it's gonna look a lot different. I think they're gonna basically do the majority of the dirt moving today. So, like I said, when I get home, it should be a lot different. I know there's not a lot to look at right now, and I apologize for not being able to film all day today, but I gotta work to pay these guys. So we will check back in once I return home. Well guys, things are looking pretty good here. As you can see, he's tapered out and fanned out, a lot of this dirt to start filling in, this low spot and kind of meet this high spot over here. He is gonna pull some of this down, I believe. But yeah, just moving a lot of dirt. When I first arrived today, he was burying some stumps in the back there. And obviously got out quite a bit of rock. Today is Halloween, so I'm gonna have to head in a little bit early because it is Hayes, my son's first Halloween, and we're going trick-or-treating, the whole 9 yards. Grandma and Grandpa are coming over, so it's a big deal. Can't miss it, although I would love to keep watching this guy work. So we will check back in tomorrow. I'm not sure. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm pretty sure they're coming. They might start working on the boulder wall or might just keep, bailing some dirt. So we will check back in next time we're out here. Well guys, just a few short hours later, and things look pretty different back here. As you can see, they came in and started the cut to start leveling out the backyard, essentially. He has pulled some huge rocks out of here. Let me walk up to him, give it a little bit of justice. Here's a grade stick for proportion, but these rocks, I believe, are all gonna be up against this face here to hold back the wall, or to hold back the berm. And yeah, he's just moving dirt. I don't know exactly what he's doing back here. He might be digging a hole for all the stumps on the back side, I'd imagine. we are, front door. Walking up. Hopefully this will give you a little more perspective. But yeah, so here we are, the backyard, little red barns there. Wood yard is back there. And this is basically the line where they're gonna kind of level it to up until that tree. Boulder wall all the way along that whole back side. Now it looks like he's just baling dirt to fill in over here. Looks like I gotta get my stuff out of the way. Out here a couple days later. Got Hayes here with me, sitting on the stump. We got Mom, and things are starting to take shape here. We can kind of see the grade, you know, the roughly of what it's going to be, the lawn. Back here all tapered out. There were some boulders, as you can see, stacked up out there to start making a little boulder wall. And Hank, the owner of the company, is here, and he is just baling dirt, pulling it back to make our big parking apron that's going to be behind the building. And it's looking good so far. Sarah, what do you think?
Yeah, we no longer have a backyard. For now.
For now, but then it's going to be a bigger backyard.
I'm trusting the process.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit too internally, but it's just grass. We can always plant grass. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I mean, I'm just excited to have a flat yard. Like, I'm
Right.
just picturing it for me.
Yeah, it'll be great to have a nice flat yard. We can throw a ball around, not have to worry about tripping on rocks. It's gonna take work and time, but it should look pretty good. right, guys, I got to get to Napa to pick up a hydraulic filter before they close, but I just got home from work, and Hank said that he spent about 2 hours here this afternoon. He hasn't been here all week. It's now Thursday. But he got everything pretty much, for the most part, to like a rough grade. He still has to do some stuff over here. We still got to mess around with this little stump, but we got a majority of the boulder wall kind of stacked up roughly here. Still needs to backfill behind it a bit, but it's looking really good. It really is. So as you can see, it's going all the way around here, backside of the machine. And he has leveled out, you know, the backyard considerably. I think he's talking about bringing up a skid steer at some point to kind of do final grade, but it's looking good. Still can't believe I haven't gotten behind the sticks of this thing yet. He's left the keys in it the entire time it's been here for about 2 weeks. But being firewood delivery season, things have been very busy. I get home and I just crank out firewood deliveries, and by the time I get home, it's dark, gotta go in, feed the baby, be a dad, spend time with the family. You guys know how it is. It's killing me that I haven't been in this thing yet, but I'll definitely get in it before it leaves. All right, guys, well, we are back from our vacation in Florida. We were away the past week. These guys actually weren't here at all the whole time we were away. But as you can see, we are getting it down to a final grade here, and it is looking real nice. We got Mike here today. I actually went to high school with him. He works for Hank part-time when he's not fighting fires. But yeah, this looks really good. I'm not sure what we're gonna do over in this area, and as far as tapering it out into like where the tractor is, but yeah, they're just kind of scraping back and moving rocks. Most of the big rocks, as you can see, have been removed from the pad itself, and the boulder wall is looking really good. So yeah, I've been busy today doing all different stuff, so not much to film. Not really moving a lot of dirt per se, just a lot of fine tuning. Okay, guys, so this is the end of today, what we are left with, and man, does this look different. As you can see, nice, leveled out for the most part, you know, basically final grade. We still have to work out, you know, kind of like this whole edge here and this whole edge, but Mike started pulling all the dirt back, and you can see he left a pile over there. And that's going to be the material that we use to basically connect the road to, you know, the pad of the barn. Got a big pile of rock over there. Not sure if that's going to stay there These two big rocks I want to incorporate somehow, either into a retaining wall or butt them up over here. And I think they still need to do some more work on the rock wall itself. But all in all, big day, huge change from when we were last here before vacation. Okay guys, so we are out here at the barn cut pad. This is the first time we have fired up this machine, my buddy's machine here, Link Belt 160. Without him here, he's left the keys in it the entire time and has given me the blessing of you know, saying go ahead, use it for whatever you want, as much as you want while it's there. But I just simply have not had the time. So my buddy Jake is here visiting from Costa Rica, and the baby's sleeping, so we figured now would be a good time to just mess around a little bit. So basically what we're trying to do here is cut out this hump, and it might be hard to tell, but you can kind of see that everything kind of slopes down towards the oak tree and then, you know, goes back up this side towards the fence. And I would like to kind of cut where the wall is and get rid of this hump and bring the grade basically to like kind of where this rock is. So right now, from this rock where I'm standing to where Jake is digging, it's probably like a 3-foot difference in elevation, if you could believe that. So he definitely does not know what he's doing. He's just kind of messing around. But at this point, I don't think there's much we can really mess up too bad. So we're just gonna have a little fun and see what it's like to operate an excavator of this caliber. I was in it before, and it's quite a bit different than my little Kubota U35, that's for sure. We're in the Link Belt 160, me and my co-operator. We got a seatbelt on for all you safety Sams. We're gonna dig some dirt.
Oh, that's a nice haul.
think that's going to be it for now. He's getting a little fussy. I think mostly because he wants to run the controls, but his arms are too short. Couple years though, right, buddy? Huh? This is the reality, guys. Just trying to get done whatever we can, whenever we can.
With the little man.
With the little guy, gotta teach him, right? Instead, you're out here eating rocks.
Trying to eat rocks. Trying to eat rocks.
Who needs a rock crusher when you got a baby with 6 teeth? All right, guys, we're here this morning after Thanksgiving. Sun just came up, and we are staking out and measuring where the building's actually going to be. Really kind of for the first time. So we got a corner here, we got a corner over there, and establishing the back 2 corners, pounding some rebar in the ground, and things are gonna get finalized today. We're gonna be bringing in gravel. Building materials get delivered this coming Tuesday. So this is the final push to get all this done. We're gonna connect the road, hopefully today, to the pad area. It's gonna be good. We're excited. Guys, we just loaded up the dumpster can on the back of the truck. We got to go start grabbing some loads of gravel. Gonna do about like 7 tons at a time, see how the truck handles that. Probably got to do like 3 or 4 loads. I didn't pay for it, luckily, so. Well, you know, it was working real well until they updated the software. So this guy's real cool. He's been here forever. Some of you guys that might be local to the area probably recognize him.
You're not even around and it's doing its thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you send it out 2-3 times a week to like keep up with it. He's asking me about the Yarbo robotic autonomous lawnmower because he drives by my house probably 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day with his trucks.
You're on a goat hill over there.
Yeah, I'm on a hill. I mean, the hill isn't a problem. It's all the rocks.
You'd be better off in a fucking goat.
Yeah, you're right. Probably be a lot cheaper too. Whoa, truck's rolling away. All right, guys, just got loaded up with some tailings. They're like screened down to like 1.5 1.25 inches. Pulling out of here. This is the first time I've really hauled gravel or anything in this truck. So we'll see how it does dumping it. As you can see, I've been here before for those of you that have watched all the videos, but it's quite a yard. It's just got little goat paths and equipment and stuff everywhere, as you can see. All right, guys, well, I just got back from getting the first load of stone. These guys have been hard at work getting the actual exact pad for the building all out to grade. As you can see, they have string lines out, a laser and everything. So we are making progress here. So as you can see, they're putting in all the grade. Now I'm gonna back my truck up as far as I can, and we're just gonna start dumping the gravel right here. All right, they want it move forward a little bit. All right, well, we got it dumped out. This truck handled that no problem. Like I said, first time really dumping gravel or dirt or anything of the such out of this truck. Now we just got to do that like 5 more times. All right, back for load number 2. Really glad Chris and I took the time to readjust these fenders to give them a lot more clearance over these tires, because they were way too close before. But as you can see now, got plenty of room. Okay.
Want that or a little more?
It dumped maybe a little more, half bucket more.
Want to look in there?
Sure. It dumped. All right, guys. So as you can see, pretty full. He said that's about 7.5 yards. So we don't want to push it too much. All right, that one was a little heavier. As you saw, I had to jib the can back and start like dropping it down to the ground to get some of the weight out. You know, it doesn't help that the truck is facing downhill too, so that's just even more stress on the hydraulics, but we got it out. Little issue. They are working away up here. Let's take a look, see what it looks like. It's starting to look good. They're going through the Sawzall, cutting all the roots, grading everything out. Starting to look like a building pad. Off for another load. All right, so they've started to take from the loads, and it's like they got the big excavator out of the way. Let's see what this is looking like. They still haven't connected the road, but as you can see, they cut everything out here, and this is all gonna get filled in. Oh yeah, they've already started spreading the stone. They've rolled it. As you can see with the roller, that's the roller I used when we built the road. And yeah, scoop by scoop, gotta go get more loads. All right, guys, this is really starting to shape up. As you can see, we got most of the pad leveled and graveled. They're just working on one last section out over there. I got, I think 5 loads of this 1/4 inch and a quarter tailings. And I was getting it at $100 a load. So $500 for all this. It was about 35 yards. We were doing about 7.5 yards at a time in my truck, and I was handling it no problem. So this all looks real good, real good. I can't wait until they finish like the rest of the grading, you know, all around the pad. This was a priority because they're going to be starting to build this in like 2 weeks. But all of this stuff, you know, around the edges, you guys know I'm pretty OCD. I want to get it cleaned up and tidied up as fast as humanly possible. But this is looking really, really good, one step at a time. All right, guys, as you can see, they got all the gravel out of here. And let's take a walk up here. We'll see it together for the first time. I just got done doing the leaves. Oh yeah. I'd say this is starting to look like we are ready for a building. Let me zoom out here. I mean, obviously you got a lot of cleanup and stuff to do around the edges like we discussed before, but the pad is ready. We're gonna have to tie in, you know, the road out here. Oh, here's Here's my strap. I don't want to lose this. Get that out of there. But yeah, plan is to use that big pile of millings way down there for the road here and basically taper it out. We're gonna fan it down to probably about like that little skinny tree right there, and connect the road. So this is looking really, really good. I think they should be back tomorrow, and they're gonna not only do the road, but kind of clean up all the edges over here and tie it all in. Well, guys, this is it. Today is December 1st, 4 p.m. They took the link belt 160 today. They need it for the next couple weeks, but I think it'll probably be back. If not, his Kubota 80 excavator. But as you can see here, they connected the road. They've, roughly at least. This is a rough in of the road. It's not going to be this steep. It's going to be leveled off over here. There's going to be more of like an apron. But this needed to be done today because the trusses for the building get delivered tomorrow at 7 a.m. All of the materials were supposed to be delivered tomorrow, but of course, conveniently, we are supposed to get like 1 to 3 inches of snow, sleet, freezing rain, you name it, tomorrow morning, overnight. So we needed to get this road somewhat drivable, and we're hoping the truck will be able to make it up this. Now, I have to go run and do a firewood delivery right now, but when I get back, he left the Takeuchi TL10 and the vibratory drum roller here, and my goal tonight is to at least just get this part covered with, you know, a foot or so of asphalt millings up this ramp part. That way they can hopefully get the trusses and place them right here next to the pad. The trusses are coming in from Connecticut, so that delivery did not get canceled. All of the other building materials, like the metal roofing, the metal siding, all the 2x4s, 2x6s, stuff like that, was supposed to get delivered tomorrow as well, but that, I guess, is coming from a different supplier, and they pussied out. So they'll be delivering that this coming Thursday. So hopefully the ground, you know, the snow, whatever we get, will be gone by then, and they shouldn't have any problem getting up here, because that delivery of the metal and like all the lumber and stuff needs to get as close to the pad as possible. If we're not able to get the trusses up here, it's not the end of the world. They can drop them easily, no matter the conditions, in the wood yard, and you know, the builders will just have to shuttle each truss up with their skid steer, or you know, however they're going to get them up here. I was told that's not the end of the world, but the materials 100% need to get up to this general vicinity. They can't be going down to the wood yard every time they need a 2x4. So all in all, you know, a little zoomed out view here, we are looking pretty good. This is still pretty steep. Again, we are planning on tapering it out and pulling this, you know, apron that's going to be in front of the big overhead door on this side out, hopefully to like the fence area. That way you can at least pull up and have a little flat spot to like park a truck or something, or a car or a vehicle, machine, whatever, without physically having to go into the building, because right now this is kind of steep. So we would like to fan that out, so that at least to like the fence kind of. But yeah, this is looking really good. Like I said, I got a firewood delivery to do, so I got to run and load all that stuff up, but just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Well guys, I just finished up the road. I didn't really get it to film much of it because it just really didn't look good, to be honest. It was tough to get good camera angles. The lights were always glaring and stuff. So I just did it. I was just spreading asphalt millings and rolling them in. Pretty repetitive, but here is the final look at it. So now we got a nice parking area and spot for them to put the trusses. In the future, this will be spots for, you know, contractors and stuff to pull up their vans or trucks. The whole pad is out over here. And like I said earlier, in the daylight, we got to, you know, level all this stuff off. But this is a really good temporary solution to stay out of the mud that's supposed to be coming in just a few hours. Okay, everybody, we are back the next morning. It is 6:55. The sun is not even up yet, and we have avoided, at least temporarily, the weather. The weather is coming, though. We are supposed to get like 3 to 4 inches of snow later today, starting, they say, around like 8 a.m. So I'm really hoping that this delivery comes on time. They said 7 a.m., so we'll see what time they show up. But I am out here now. I just fired up the roller. I want to hit the road, or the new addition that we added to the road last night, one more time with the roller now that I can actually see what I'm doing. So the roller has been warming up for about 10 minutes now. I'm gonna hop on and do a little bit of final rolling, and hopefully those trusses should show up in the next, you know, half hour or so. Okay guys, it is now 7:40. Just got done rolling the pad and the road one last time. Trusses are still not here, although I've been keeping an eye out. So I don't know, as much as I would love to hop in the skid steer with the heated cab and kind of move some of this dirt and like fan it out over here where the equipment is, with this rain and snow coming, I really probably should fire up the backpack blower and finish doing the leaves in this last front section of the house here. This is like the last spot that I have to hit. I've already hit it a couple times, but just get all those leaves off of the grass before they freeze to it. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna do that. It'll also give me a good vantage point to see when the trusses arrive. All right, guys, the trusses have arrived. I was doing the leaves up here. As you can see, here's the truck. So there they are. We're gonna see if the driver can make it up the road. All right, guys, well, we just walked the driver up here and showed him what we're dealing with, and he said it should not be a problem. The fact that the ground is solid and frozen to a certain extent and packed and rolled, he thinks we'll be in good shape. So here we go. Well guys, I just got home from work. This morning the trusses were dropped off, and it's been raining all day, so I was real curious to see how the road and the whole pad is shedding water and stuff. Let me flip you around, show you what we got. So, as you can see, very minimal puddles, you know, small puddles. But for the most part, if you look, everything is draining down and off. You can see the water running right here, coming down into the track, and running down there, and running down over here, and it's all making its way downhill, which is great. We do have, you know, slightly bigger puddles here, but it does look like it's finding its way down and just fanning out. So I gotta say, all in all, my buddy Hank and his guys, Quinn was the operator that was here most of the time. Guys, huge shout out to you. The name of the company is Belden Hill Landscape Contractors. If you are in the southwestern Connecticut, Fairfield County area, and you have a big job that needs excavation work or masonry or concrete work or anything of the such, I highly recommend Hank and his team at Belden Hill Landscape Contractors. Feel free to reach out to them. If you can't, you know, find their contact information online or whatever, feel free to shoot me an email. I would be happy to recommend them because they did a fantastic job here on this pole barn site prep, and we're not done yet. We got a lot of final grading work and stuff to be done after the barn is constructed, trenching in for utilities, and he and his guys are going to be helping me every step of the way. So I just wanted to make sure I give them a huge shout out. Belden Hill Landscape Contractors. The owner's name is Hank. Believe it or not, he's younger than me, but he knows his stuff. Really, really talented company and young man. All right, guys, so I think that is going to wrap up this video here on all of the site work that was involved in getting this site prepped to build the pole barn. We've proven our point. We were able to get a tractor trailer up this entire road successfully to drop the trusses. We got the whole pad leveled, stumped, cleared, brought in 35 yards of this, you know, 1.25 inch stone tailings mixed with dirt, compacted, spread out, moved asphalt millings, compacted those. This was a lot of work, as was every step to this, you know, pole barn. The survey was a lot of work. The tree removal was a lot of work. Building the road was a lot of work. I'm sure building the building will be a lot of work, although I won't have much part in that, but I will try to film as very much of it as I can. So with that being said, the trusses are here. The rest of the materials are being delivered this coming Thursday, which is 2 short days away. Like I said, it is December 2nd right now. Tentatively, depending on the weather, they should be starting construction on December 8th. So we are like less than a week away here, guys. And if you couldn't tell, I am very, very excited. We're gonna have a big Christmas present to unveil and show off here at Dude Ranch DIY. And I really just want to thank everybody out there that watches the videos. If you're a new viewer, if you're a longtime subscriber, I really appreciate any minute or second that you've watched of these videos. If you like this kind of stuff, please go back into my archives. I have about 600 other videos on all different types of topics that I think you guys would enjoy. So thank you very much. None of this would be possible without you guys, the viewers, and me, Sarah, and Hayes are extremely appreciative. So with that being said, that's going to be it for this one. As always, if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, consider clicking that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you a dime and it really helps out the channel. Questions, comments, feedback, throw it down in that comment section. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.